to the IMF. This country was not depending on aid in the 70s. I feel like crying this morning. What has happened to this country? And because people are looting the country dry. The same country that was lending World Bank money to $40 million in the 70s.
In the meantime, this is all coming after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu told a delegation from Deloitte Africa on Wednesday that Nigeria's economy is beginning to turn the corner, crediting fuel subsidy removal, foreign exchange reforms, and stronger public finances for stabilizing the economy and restoring investor confidence.
The effect of the reform, yes, in some instances are difficult to take, like medication, but it's working well. And for the economy, Nigeria is making serious foundational progress. We have very trainable, dynamic population of youths who are very brilliant, ready to be trained and require the Deloitte investment.
Right, Rufai, this has generated significant reactions. The presidency argues the reforms were necessary to reset a broken system. But for millions of Nigerians, the bigger question remains, when do these macroeconomic gains translate into cheaper food, lower transport costs, and better living standards? And I'll take one reaction before I come to you, Rufai. This is from Bims, who wrote on X. The best measure of economic reforms isn't what leaders say, it's what citizens experience. That really is what it is. You wanted to respond.
Yes, you said it all. Sefini Laba.
Right.
It's what citizens feel. You see, the problem with the reforms is the fact that there's been lack of transparency and truth in the process. Oji, President Tinubu announced subsidy gone in 2023. Do you know that he continued paying subsidy despite telling Nigerians that the reason why they announced subsidy gone was because it was not in the budget? NMPC record shows that 7.1 trillion was paid in subsidy. Do you know what they did, Oji? They hide the name. They didn't call it subsidy. You know what they called it? Energy security expenses. You see this level of lack of transparency. Energy security expenses. It was just like when Buhari government came in. Buhari said something was a scam. It didn't exist and everything. When he's also started playing subsidy, you know what he called it? Under recovery. So it is this lack of transparency that kills this country. And Ayo, I get your points. I don't want people to suffer. I play in that space. I do a lot of advocacy for people. But Ayo, we need to jolt our leaders. Ayo, what happened to this country? We are seeing the likes of the Machimogu. We have seen the likes of Malami, forfeiture and everything. We need to jolt our country back. Ayo, I cry for Nigeria this morning. Let me read something to you. Why I'm crying, why I scream sometimes for this country. On the 23rd of December 1974, Nigeria signed a long-term borrowing agreement with the World Bank. Under this agreement, Nigeria provided $240 million in net resources to the World Bank reserves. And we're borrowing World Bank money.
We're lending
World Bank money to do development projects for other countries. In 1975, we also lent 120 million to the IMF. This country was not depending on aid in the 70s. I feel like crying this morning. What has happened to this country? And because people are looting the country dry. The same country that was lending World Bank money to $40 million in the 70s. In that same 70s, do you know that Britain was going to the World Bank to loan money because they had an economic crisis? That time we were lending them money.
All right, Dr. Baki. Meanwhile, Anambra State Governor Professor Charles Soludo says President Tinubu is healing the wounds of the Nigerian civil war through infrastructure after the president approved designs for 2 new highways connecting Anambra to Kogi and Imo to Abia, just 2 weeks after Soludo personally made the request. And I'll read his post on X in part. He wrote, "Today, 15th July, I received a message from the Minister of Works that the President has graciously approved both roads for design and procurement. What can I say? These 2 roads constitute critical game changers for the Southeast, South-South, and North Central. The man who tamed the Atlantic Ocean in Lagos is certainly redefining politics, and the Southeast won't be the same again. For me personally, this is why politics makes sense to me. Working collaboratively and building alliances to achieve concrete results that improve the lives of the people. Thank you. Asiwaju, history will be kind to you." Your thoughts?
Okay, very quickly. It's a matter of public record that the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, is a good friend of the president. He has said so himself publicly. But in this particular context, look at the timelines. He said he approached the president on July 1st, to say that, look, he was proposing that some 2 projects, infrastructure projects, should be done in the southeastern part of the country. By July 2nd, Minister Dave Umahi, who is in charge of works, had called Governor Soludo to tell him, "Oh, the president said you want these projects done. Can you send me the details?" By July 15, the same minister, David Umahi, had returned to the governor of Anambra State to say, "We now have the president's approval for design and procurement for the 2 projects that you have proposed." That's the background, and Governor Soludo, are so pleased with this now. Has praised the president for responding promptly, and he has said that those infrastructural projects, 2 major roads, will link up Imo State with Kogi State and with the North Central, and that this is a very good development. It seems to provide justification in that regard for some of these governors or political leaders who claim that you have to be in alignment with the center so that projects can come to your people. And President Soludo has always made it clear that his support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is not just because they are personal friends, it's also because he thinks that, the East cannot afford to play the politics of antagonism, particularly with this administration. Where he went a little bit far is to say that with these 2 infrastructure projects, President Tinubu is now healing the wounds of the civil war. Some people may not agree with him on that particular score. But the positive side of it is to see, not just with Anambra State, but also with other states, that there is a proper alignment between the federal government and also the state governments, and they work together in concert. And this should not be strictly determined on the basis of friendship or favoritism, but to the extent that, both the states and the federal government of Nigeria should be committed to the development of Nigeria. It is the responsibility of government to provide infrastructure to ensure even development across Nigeria. And that, I think, is the basic point of it. We just hope that, those projects will be properly funded and that they will be, completed in good time for the benefit of not just the people of the Southeast, but also the South-South, the North Central, and also the other parts of the country that will use those particular roads.